Welcome to the Songwriter Theory Podcast. I'm your host, Joseph Vidala, and we're going to talk about music theory, lyric writing, creative productivity, inspiration, and more. I'm super excited to have you here, so let's dive into the episode. Hello, friend. Today on the podcast, we are going to talk about 4 tests to make sure that you have a great melody. A lot of people ask about, like, how do I figure out if my melody is right? How do I write a great melody? And I have 4 main tests that I like to put my melody through to test if I think that it's right where I want it. So the first test is what I call the candle test or the acapella test. And this is basically a test that if you can imagine, or if you're in your house alone, and you can sing the melody with no instruments, nothing, just you and your voice singing this melody with the lyrics. Is it something that you can just imagine people out in the audience holding the candles up, which now is just lit up cell phones, and singing along with? Of course, you can also, if you're performing live, you can also literally test this if people know your songs. So I like to imagine, like, all right, let's say this song is a single and this is a song that everybody in the crowd definitely would know. Is this a song that I imagine before we actually get into playing the song, I could just sing the opening lines a cappella and people would be excited and then like join in, and it would still be moving and it would still give the right emotion of the lyric all by itself? Is this something where after the song is finished, if I were to just sing alone with the audience the chorus one more time, would it evoke the same emotion? And if it was meant to make them feel sadness, would we all be together and like, yes, let's express this deep sorrow we felt before? And that's the candle test or the acapella test, whichever you prefer. It's really testing for a meaningful melody that you're saying, all right, is this melody and lyric combined really, really solid in communicating what I want it to all by itself? It doesn't need those heavy electric guitars, or it doesn't need that piano part to really communicate the emotion of this song. And that's what that's testing. So the second test is the theme test. And this is named after themes in movies. So often in movies, 2 best examples I can think of off the top of my head are Star Wars, which uses heavy use of themes and motifs, and Lord of the Rings. When Darth Vader comes on the screen, or when there's a suggestion of Darth Vader, you hear that Imperial March theme. Or Darth Sidious, the Emperor, he has his theme, which also sort of evokes this emotion of like, utter darkness. Like, there's no good in this man. There might be in Vader, but there is not in Sidious. He is just pure evil. Or the Ring theme in Lord of the Rings. It sort of gives this like evil and mysterious but tempting sort of small melody. And those things don't need lyrics, obviously, right? To communicate what they're trying to communicate. You feel exactly what you're supposed to feel just based off of that melody alone. So the theme test is basically, hey, if you hum this without the lyrics, is it still capturing the emotion of the lyric? So it's testing really if you have a meaningful melody, that the melody still can evoke the emotion and the theme of your song even without the lyrics, because the lyrics are what tell people, hey, this is what this is about. But does the melody say the same thing? Are the melody and the lyrics in total agreement? And the theme test will test that. The third test is what you could call a car duet test or a conversation test. This is basically if you can imagine yourself in the driver's seat and there's one other passenger in your car and they're riding shotgun, and you were in a movie or something, could you imagine with your melody sort of call and answer? Like, is it really evident when one person would sing a line and then the next person would sing the next line and then go back to the first person and go back to the second? Would there be a clear conversation, call and answer? So you should be able to clearly identify when you would sing a line and when the person in shotgun would sing their line, and so on. And same idea as a conversation, because an important part of music is call and answer. Your melody should have a call, and then it should have an answer. A call, and then an answer. You should be able to put them each in columns. Like, here's the call, here's the answer. Here's the call, here's the answer. And this conversation, or car duet test, would test that. And the fourth test is what I call the elevation test. So if you've ever seen those elevation charts, so for example, if you have, everybody has GPS on their phones now, and if you've gone on a run and your phone tracks your elevation as you go on your run, or your elevation as you climb up a mountain or whatever, or if you've just seen those charts, where basically it's saying, okay, over time, here's the elevation that this person was at. And so if you can imagine that chart, or if you could sit down, listen to your own melody, and sort of draw an elevation chart as the energy comes up and goes down, and as there's more energy and then there's less energy, or there's higher notes and then there's lower notes. And if you could sort of draw this elevation test and make sure that it has peaks and valleys, because we don't want it to just be the same throughout, because then it's just going to be boring. There should be some clear peaks. There should be a clear, climax to it. And doing an elevation test will test that. So, to go over again, there's basically 4 main tests that you can run your melody through. One is the candle or acapella test, which is the test of, hey, if I'm singing this acapella with the lights down, is the audience pulling out their phones and doing the whole candle thing and singing along, or are they not? And then the second test is the theme test, which is saying, hey, if this was an instrumental theme, like just the melody playing on the piano, or just me humming it, or just a violin part, would it still evoke the theme and evoke the emotion of the lyric, even though it didn't have the lyric? The third one was the car duet or conversation test, testing, hey, is there a call and answer? Is there a clear, this is my line, this is your line, this is my line, this is your line? And then the fourth test is the elevation test, which is making sure that the energy and the pitch and everything of the song is sort of going up and down to make sure that there's intrigue and interest. Those are basically the 4 tests. So I hope those are useful to you. Thanks for listening to the Songwriter Theory Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and tell a friend. If you want to jumpstart your songwriting, be sure to download my free guide on 10 proven ways to start writing a song at songwritertheory.com/free guide. Whether you're brand new to songwriting or a seasoned vet, this guide will help you to avoid staring at a blank page wondering where to start. Even if you just want to figure out some different ways to start writing a song, this free guide is for you.